Welcome to The Chatter, your end of the week ear candy for what to eat, drink, see, and do in Richmond, Virginia, right damn now.
The Richmond experience is independently owned and created by locals, us, for locals, you. From recent openings and the latest trends to time-tested traditions and hidden gems, we're here to help you experience the very best that RVA has to offer.
Hi, I'm Paige, RVAX social media manager. I'm the face you see in front of the scenes on Instagram and TikTok, taking you to all the latest and greatest hotspots around town.
And I'm Kelsey, RVAX managing editor, working behind the scenes on your midweek newsletter, the Weekly Insider, and City Guides.
Woo!
Hi, Paige. Number
Another
3,
one.
here we go. How are you doing, Paige? How are we feeling?
I'm good. I'm excited, ready for the weekend,
And the week ahead.
ready for our official launch, which is coming very soon.
Yes, very soon. Everybody stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled on social media. Coming in hot.
Coming in hot. But I'm most excited for a little overnight stay at a new spot. So let me drop the
Tell us
tea
all
here.
about it.
So I don't know. I think we've covered this in a Weekly Insider, but the owners of Shindig's Market, their future plans are to build a boutique hotel named Dear John.
Yes.
And the owners wanted to have some hospitality experience first. So they opened an Airbnb called Dear John Airbnb. And it is opened above the Fancy Biscuits, which is formerly the Shindig's Market location, because they just opened up the bigger market across the street, which we have an IG reel on if you're not familiar.
Yeah, and if you haven't been, go. It's so spacious. You can even sit and eat and drink there.
It's so cute. I mean, who doesn't love Shindig's?
You have to.
So this Airbnb is so cute, and they sent me the listing, and so we are gonna stay. I'm staying 2 nights. Kelsey, you're gonna stay with us 1 night.
Yeah, I'm gonna come crash the party on in the middle of the trip and come say hey to the chicks.
Yes, but it's fun. They have I'm not sure of the layout yet because we haven't been. I'm sure I'll be dropping something soon all about it. But there's a sauna. And that's all I need.
I know, really. Even just the invite could have been do you want to come test out the sauna? When you told me that, I was like, oh, say no more. I'll be there immediately.
Yeah, so we're going to have some wine, hang out. I'll probably be ordering some local food that's around, and we're just going to hang out and have a little sleepover. It should be so much fun.
I'm so excited. I'm already trying to think what do I need to bring for the girls night? And my first thing was pull and peel Twizzlers. That's always my go-to for a little overnight.
That is so cute.
Just a little, sneak peek about me.
Oh my gosh, I'll be bringing champagne.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Champagne and Twizzlers, the best combo. There's something that they just remind me of maybe it was a kid thing. I don't know, but a pull and peel Twizzler is that's how I know I'm on vacation.
Oh, that's so cute. See, my friend, whenever we had sleepovers, she'd get us Teddy Grahams and icing.
Oh, you know what? Oh, a little, kind of a little Dunkaroo sort of vibe, I feel.
But it's not Dunkaroos.
No, I mean,
I could crush some Dunkaroos.
Yeah. I don't know why. I know that they've kind of made a resurgence in years past, but I don't know why they don't make a bigger bucket of that icing to dip those things in.
I know, man.
For children.
If you show up with some Dunkaroos, I'll be hyped.
Forget the Twizzlers. I'm looking for Dunkaroos now. You know what else also has me on the hunt for? If anybody can tell me, I'm a huge was, and now I'm craving it. These chewy Spree, or is Spree originally chewy? I don't think it is. I think it was originally hard candy. And then they came out with a chewy version of it, but I feel it's very hard to find. I can never find it unless you go on Amazon, and for whatever reason, whoever sells it is yeah, you can have this for $48. It's no. I just wanted a little normal bag for $3. Anyway,
so are you a candy person then?
I am a major candy person. I feel I'm not. I feel I'm more of a salty, savory snack kind of person in general. But if I'm gonna do sweets, candy is, I feel my number one go-to.
Okay. See, I'm not a candy girl.
You're not. You know what? I could understand that, Paige.
I'm chocolate though.
Chocolate, on the other hand, although, as I'm saying this, I'll enjoy some chocolate too. Although a chocolate candy combination, I mean, some M&Ms. You know what I've recently gotten into is Costco will sell those massive like buckets of M&Ms, and it's so nice to just kind of like have in the pantry as like a little bit of chocolate to have and then like move on with your evening or something like that. But then it's like you have M&Ms for 3 years.
See, for me, it's not like candy bars or M&Ms. It's I have where I'm from, northern Pennsylvania, we have two chocolatiers. We
Okay.
have Philadelphia candies and we have Daffin's candies.
Okay.
And they make their own chocolate. And my mom will send me chocolate throughout the year, or I will go up and I will stock chocolate. Like I'm
I
talking
get to
chocolate
do
covered
too.
potato chips, chocolate covered
Wow. Okay.
pretzels. It's like the good.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say, so like this isn't even like chocolate. This is like serious chocolate.
yeah, and it's like chocolate covered Oreos, but it's
Oh
like
wow.
it's home for me.
Yeah, a
It's
little like sweetness from home for sure.
yeah. So that's what I indulge in.
Okay, I can definitely see you being like more of a like a chocolate. It's the sophistication in you, Paige. The chocolate, the
Or it's
champagne.
just I like my chocolate.
I mean, listen, chocolate's delicious. I'll bring Twizzlers, Dunkaroos, and something chocolatey. Now I know
Uh,
for our little
yeah,
like overnight. We're
I'm
never
so
gonna get in the
excited.
sauna.
I'm ready for it.
Okay, well, on that note, Paige, should we head into our first ad break before we get this thing going?
Let's do it.
Okay. This episode of The Chatter is powered by Sports Backers. Every spring, Sports Backers puts on one of our favorite Richmond bucket list events, whether you're participating or spectating, the UCrops Monument Avenue 10K. And their other particularly iconic annual event happens in the fall, the Richmond Marathon Half, and 8K. Learn about either and other Sports Backers events on sportsbackers.org. I love the UCrops Monument Avenue 10K. We just did it as a team, and this time we walked it. I've run it, done a run of it before and walked it this time with the team. And either way, I feel like you really can't go wrong. And I've actually even gone to like just watch when I was like early pregnant too, when I'm really not trying to do any sort of like physical activity. Watching it is also just as fun. I love all of Sports Backers events. They're the best.
I also have to throw in the tacky light run.
The Tacky Light, is that like a combo of Sports Backers and CarMax does that? Is that right?
Well, it's just one of their sponsors, just like it's
Sure.
the U Crops. It's just the CarMax Tacky Light Tour. So it's just a
Supported by Sports
sponsor.
Backers. I love the Tacky Light run too. It's very fun around Christmas time. I was
So
wondering if I should add that to our official bucket list, but that one, of course, is more like seasonal. So it's a little bit, I guess they're all kind of seasonal, but I mean, just as good. I love the Tacky Light run too.
so cute.
So if you want to know more about their events, visit them at their website, maybe sign up for the marathon. I think that if they haven't started like training for that yet, the other cool thing about Sports Backers is that they will put on these like training teams, which I actually like did for the 10K as well earlier this year. So you could get into a training team as well if you're planning on running, but just look into their events and see what you want to do.
Love it. All right, that leads us into what to eat, drink, see, and do in RVA in general this week. So remember, guys, we're going to do a little bit more evergreen, but next week we're going to start, getting weekly.
Yeah,
But this week we need to slurp some oysters at Lillian Oyster Hall. So this is a newish spot from the folks behind Lost Letter and Long Oven, but RIP. The atmosphere there features a grand wraparound bar and standing tables near the windows. They do have an extensive wine list that is organized the coolest way that pair perfectly with the oysters, and that is confirmed by me.
Yes.
Um,
As we remember from our last episode, our in-house wine expert Sips and Trips with Paige. So signed off on Paige for this wine list.
yeah, obsessed. And also, if we're going to talk about Lillian, we might as well talk about Lost Letter, but same goes for them. They have an amazing wine list over there. And they have an amazing somm. His name is Graham. And honestly, if you go in and you just like tell him what you're looking for, he will pick the perfect bottle for you.
I love places like
I
that.
usually just give him a price range and I just say, work your magic.
I love
And
places like that.
he does it every time. So it is amazing.
Fantastic. Did you say too, Paige, how you mentioned that they have like a really cool way that they organize it at Lillian? Is it just like what it pairs best with?
No, so it is paired by like sort of like glacier. So all of the
Oh,
wines are that are glacier are by lakes or by rivers.
oh,
So
wow.
it's organized by where the wine comes from,
Oh, I love that.
which is a lot about the terroir of a place. So it could tell you a lot about the type of wine that you might be consuming. But it's just, I've never been to a place where the wine list was organized like by that. And I just thought it was very unique and fun for oysters, because oysters notoriously go well with like muscadet and champagne, and it's just like a very food and wine friendly pairing. So
Yeah.
it's just a cool vibe. I love it.
So good. Yeah, that place looks so cute. Whenever you've posted about it since they've opened up, I think like earlier this spring, I mean, it looks so divine. And any spot that's focusing on oysters is, I'll be there.
Yes, but I do recommend they have like towers there, and if you want to try a little bit of everything, I really like that. You get oysters, shrimp, clams, shooters, skewers, crudité, pickles, tuna tartare. It's like a little bit of everything, which is great.
Right.
And they also have a great happy hour featuring $1 oysters Tuesday through Friday, 4 to 5:30, and just yesterday they just announced all day happy hour on Sunday.
This is hot off the
So
press.
hot off the press. And I mean, $1 oysters, always great.
Yeah.
Like, perfect. So they do reserve up quickly though. So if you do want a spot, like a sitting spot at the bar, I would head to lillianoysterhall.com and make a reservation.
Yeah. Good tip as always. Get a reservation. That way you're definitely in the door no matter what. But, if you want to try to do a walk in, go for it. I mean, it's oysters.
Yes.
Amazing. That sounds delicious, Paige.
All right, you're up next with drink.
Okay, yeah, for this week, Paige and I are kind of doing like a on and off sort of thing instead of like our pairing, like eat and drink and stuff. So I will do drink. And for me this week, I'm saying anything from Hardywood. If it is warm, I go with the Great Return usually, which is an
Mm,
American IPA bursting with bright grapefruit aroma. If it's cold, I am like fangirl to the max about their farmhouse pumpkin, which
mm,
features Virginia grown sugar pie pumpkins from Snake Creek Farms, whole nutmeg, clove, and allspice from CF Sour, and fresh ginger root from Castle Mont Farms. If it's a day ending in Y, literally anything else, you can't go wrong. Their Hardywood, Richmond City location is very like fun to be at when you want to do like the pizza kitchen too. Their West
mhm,
Creek recently has been like my favorite and go-to location, especially when you're bringing in like a group of friends from out of town or something. If you guys all have like kids and stuff, West Creek is such a great place to like bring a blanket or your like chairs or whatever you want to do and spread out. They have like space on space on space. There's like a little fun like play area for the kids that you can sit near them to watch them while you and your friends chat and have a couple of drinks and stuff. And they always have food trucks over there. But truly, either Hardywood location is perfect, and all of their beer is so good. I just super love their farmhouse pumpkin. So in the summer, or not the summertime, in the fall, when they start to do the rumblings that it's coming to a tap near you, go out and get it. There have been times before where I've gone too late to get it and they are sold out.
Oh,
So do not make that mistake. It is so delicious. I love Hardywood. They have a
mm.
good like wine selection over there too, don't they, Paige?
They have some wine, yeah.
Some
They
wine
also have cocktails. So
cocktails. Okay.
I do appreciate that places that cater to a little bit of everybody. I know
Dabble
it's
in a
hard.
couple of things. Yeah, especially when you're going with like a group, sometimes not everybody's like totally on board with like the brewery situation. So if they have like a little bit of everything, it's like really nice for everybody in your group. And I do feel like Hardywood does a pretty good job about like kind of catering to everybody.
Yeah, we definitely hit up the Ownby location a lot.
Yeah.
Um, it's just I love the outdoor area. It's a vibe.
It's the best.
But
They do a lot of live music too, and you can't really go wrong with that. And then you know what? If you're kind of like in the mood to do a little bit of like brewery hopping, just down the road from that location is Mainline and our favorite, of course, Cirrus. And it's like definitely walking distance, so you can
mhm.
pack up at Hardywood when you're all done there, and then go for like round 2 or 3 at Mainline if you want to, which is another favorite of mine. Um, Anything over in that area is good. And if you're over at the West Creek location, what we have found is that I believe Kindred Spirits is actually really close by, not walking distance, but if you're, being safe while you're drinking and you've got a designated driver to take you over there, you can go to Kindred before or after too when you're over at Hardywood West Creek. It's very nearby.
I've definitely done both of those
Yes.
in one
And,
trip before.
Kindred is also kind of a vibe too, because they've got like a really great outdoor, like they're kind of like set up in like a parking lot area, but they sort of like section it off so they can do live music over there too. And there's also like a little area for kids to play in their little like tree lined part near the parking lot too. Like since it's all sectioned off and safe and everything. The brewery scene in Richmond we could talk about we could
Oh,
have a
yeah.
separate podcast
We
to just
honestly could just
yeah,
talk
we
about
really
beer.
could. But
That's
first
cute
and
though.
foremost, I'm talking Hardywood.
Maybe we do that one time. Just have like all beer. So maybe
Exactly, we could
lots of
do little
ideas. Lots
yeah,
of ideas.
exactly. We got all these little things brewing, if you will, Paige. All right,
Alrighty.
Paige, enough out
Yep.
of me.
So this brings us into our second ad break. So this episode of The Chatter is also sponsored by Maymont. Maymont is a 100-acre historic estate and park located right in Richmond with many unique experiences for all to enjoy. I personally love just strolling through the gardens, seeing the animals, the friendly goats, and they also have the Robbins Nature Center, and they also have historical audio tours now. I have pretty much done a lot, everything.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just say it. I've pretty much done everything at Maymont at this
say it,
point.
Paige.
I've done all their audio tours, which I love.
Yeah.
I geek out at Maymont. I just think the history there is so cool. I've done the Maymont Mansion. I've done that like upwards of 4 or 5 times actually.
So then it's a certified recommendation.
They could hire me and I could
Yeah,
give
right.
them
We can do a separate podcast about the mansion at Maymont.
But actually, it's all back at pre-COVID. It used to be a tour guide, but now everything's audio.
Yeah.
So it's accessible. But actually, heads up, the Maymont Mansion is closed for restoration right now. So that audio tour is not available.
It's so expansive.
Holly and I are known to just like pack a blanket, pack a picnic, hang out there for a few hours.
Relax.
But it's a beautiful area.
Oh my gosh, it's the best. I love like taking my kids over there to like visit the animals and stuff. It's so fun. And then like just going for just like a nice stroll. Like you could stroll for the entire day and you would never get tired. It's so pretty over there.
It is beautiful.
And of course, we can't forget like all of their like classic events. Like Garden Glow is like a top favorite too in the fall time. I mean, the best.
I'm notoriously known to going to Garden Glow like at least 3 times.
I want the Garden Glow team to come over to my house and just set up a mini Garden Glow for me personally to enjoy all year round.
Yeah, I think Garden Glow is my favorite, but I've recently done Herbs Galore, which was cool.
Okay.
I've recently done the Merry Market. So
Everything.
much.
Get over to Maymont as soon as possible.
All right, but that leads us into C for me, and I'm going to kind of stay historical with exploring Hollywood Cemetery. So, aside from being an active cemetery, so we need to be respectful when visiting, Presidents James Monroe and John Tyler buried there, along with Richmond's legends like Lewis Skinner. So, in case you didn't know or notice, but if you enter and you're walking, there is a blue line that follows the road, and that is their official self-guided tour. So, if you want, you can view the map online just by visiting hollywoodcemetery.org, or you can pick one up in the visitor center, but it is $1, and it will kind of lead you through the whole cemetery and tell you the iconic spots, who's buried there, and it is really cool and educational. But I just love walking around, especially in the fall. They have beautiful leaves. The colors are gorgeous. And then, of course, in the spring, when the cherry blossoms are in bloom, all around President's Circle, they have all these cherry trees. And it's always great to go when it's in bloom. It is just magical.
Oh.
And then if you visit anytime, they offer amazing views of the city, like some of the best. It's just beautiful there.
Super gorgeous. And there are like little like benches like pocketed all throughout too, so you can sit down and like read if you wanted to. I mean, it's a very obviously very quiet place because everybody is being respectful and just walking around and sort of like taking it all in. It like I mean, we're gonna end up saying this about like so many of these things in Richmond as we continue, but like Hollywood Cemetery is another thing in Richmond that I can't believe we are so lucky to have. It is gorgeous over there.
Yeah, it is like when my parents come and visit, they always are like, "Can we go to Hollywood
Yeah,
Cemetery?"
it's a
It
good
it's
one for that.
it's kinda, like, strange, but it's not.
You
Like,
know
if
what?
you
I
are
In that vein,
yeah,
my oldest is 3, and even she like now references like, "Can we go to Hollywood Cemetery?" And I, of course, I'm like, "Yeah, definitely." But then I'm wondering, like, are people like thinking like, "Why is this child want to go to a cemetery?" Whatever.
yeah, but, I mean, it is just beautiful. They've done an amazing job just keeping everything looking so beautiful.
It's so gorgeous. And you know what? As I tell my kids, it is a resting place. So like what's,
Yeah,
weird about that? We are resting here. So it's just a nice place to kind of be calm and sort of breathe and just take in the sights and stuff. And speaking of kids too, another hot tip that I had picked up in the past year when my youngest was still at that point where he would very easily like fall asleep while we were out on the road, like picking up and like running an errand or something. If
mhm.
I was nearby to Hollywood Cemetery, I would just do a nice like drive through that. It would keep my oldest entertained. And then it's like a nice long sort of like leisurely drive through a park so that she can see things and then he gets like enough of a nap while he's already fallen asleep in the back. I mean, you can go to Hollywood Cemetery for anything.
Man, those are some good mom tips.
Listen, I got some mom tips. So just pick them up along the way. Hollywood Cemetery, drive around if your kid falls asleep in the back because then you get a treat for the eyes.
Yes, I love that.
It's beautiful. I love Hollywood Cemetery. That's a very good one, Paige. And for this week, I'm going to do do. And as we had referenced, I think in our last episode, when Paige and I were running through our notes, I was thinking we were talking about this in the last episode, but we're talking about it in this one. Festivals, I feel like, is something that you must do in Richmond. No matter what the season, there is always something going on. Right now, as we're recording, we are in the thick of Friday cheer season, which this will be the last time that I say this, but truly, like when I've gone to Friday cheers at the beginning of every season, I cannot believe that it is such an inexpensive yet amazing offering that we have in the city. Every Friday, we've got local bands coming out, food trucks. I mean, there's so much space over on Browns Island where it takes place for everybody to run around and stretch their legs and stuff, spread out your blanket and things like that. I feel like it's another good thing that you can take out of towners too, because it's not always necessarily like people are there like to see the show. Like if you want to see the show and be like invested in that, for sure you can go up front, listen to the music and stuff. But if you kind of just want to have it as sort of like a vibe setting situation where you go and like drink and eat with your friends, you can do it that way too. I love Friday cheers, and it is happening all through May and part of June every year. Definitely make it out to that. And some other festivals that are classic Richmond ones that you should go to if you haven't, or you should go to again, are River Rock, which is everything outdoorsy there is to love about Richmond, rock
Mhm.
climbing, kayaking, airbound dogs. And then, of course, there's Folk Fest, which hosts 200,000 people over a 3-day weekend, featuring 6 stages and showcasing music and dance from more than 30 performing groups from around the nation and the world. And then, newest to the scene in Richmond as of last year and coming back this year is Iron
Mhm.
Blossom Festival, which brings international, national, and local musicians together to perform throughout one weekend. And this is kind of like what I feel like I think of when I think of like a classic music festival. And I know music festival lovers are very excited to have this in Richmond now to sort of like put it on the map as another like music scene if we're not already. I mean, I feel like we already are there, but of course we've got DC so close by, so a lot of
Yeah.
times those bigger acts are going out there. But now we've got this Iron Blossom Festival, which brings in a lot of big people too. I think like headlining this year is Mountain Joy or some other big names like that, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, I believe it's Mount Joy. I can't remember the other folks though.
Was it last year that like was it Hosier or like somebody
And
huge?
Noah Khan. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Noah Khan. Oh, maybe I mixed them up or I don't know, you know me. But amazing. I mean, they've got like
Yeah.
huge acts coming in. People are very excited. And with it being like still new to the scene, I know that they're kind of like, you know, testing some things out for it to see how
Yeah,
it
for
all
sure.
works. So like it's fun to kind of like be right in here at like the ground level as they like build it up. It's amazing. Did you go
Yeah.
last year, Paige?
I did not. I believe that was when Holly and I were getting back from vacation, so it didn't make sense for me to buy weekend tickets because I
Right.
believe at the time they were only selling them as weekend, and then I think they ended up doing day passes, but
Yes.
I mean, I had friends that went. They had great things to say about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like generally the first like kickoff of it last year seemed to like go off really well, and people, from what I can see, like commenting wise on social media and stuff, people are very excited for it again this year. So any of those festivals, there are also, of course, so many like smaller ones that are not like these like River Rock like huge ones, but even like the smaller ones. There's like a Churchill festival, I think, that happens over at Libby Hill Park. There are so many all over the city. I feel like almost every weekend. So just get out to some festival in Richmond and you will be having a great time. Jam Packed, now that I'm saying this, is another favorite one that I believe is happening in August this year over on Browns Island too, where a bunch of like local beer makers in Virginia, in Richmond, even outside of the state, I think, bring all of it's like a lineup of like beer tents where you can go in and get your drink tickets and just go try different like beers from all over the country. Jam Pack Festival, super fun. There are so many festivals to check out.
Also, gotta do Carytown Watermelon Festival.
Oh, duh. Carytown Watermelon Festival. How could I forget? Another classic of
I
Richmond.
mean, I like we have them all. We have the pumpkin. We have Shamrock the Block.
Shamrock the Block.
I mean,
What's the other one? Forever Summer too is like a relatively new one with the Veil, I believe, that
the
pulls off,
Veil.
right?
I'm going to that this year. It is to benefit nonprofit child savers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Again, and so many of these festivals too, I feel like have like a great support thing that they're putting the proceeds toward too. So it's like at the same time that you're having like a ball, you're also supporting something fantastic in Richmond as well. So I mean, go to any festival you can.
absolutely.
That's me this week for what to do.
All right. Well, that leads us to the end. So thanks for listening, Richmond. And by the way, there's more where that came from. Joining the Richmond Experience as a member is the best way to stay in the know about what's going on in RVA.
Not to worry, we refuse to sell your info or bombard you with ads, but we do charge a small annual membership fee of $39 a year to fund our team so we can keep doing this awesome work. Plus, a portion of each annual membership purchase for the Richmond Experience goes to rotating nonprofits each month. That's like $1 per week to get an all access pass to the best of RVA and lift up local orgs. It's a really, really good deal, friends.
So give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at The Richmond Experience. And if you enjoyed this episode, send to your buds and rate, review, and subscribe.
And if you want to keep up with each of us, you can find me at Kelsey Hines' Typing on Instagram.
And me, Sips and Trips with Paige on Instagram.
Chat with you next week, RVA.